Hello, my name is Jonathan Harris from Worldwide Camera Exchange. Ask anybody that knows about photography about pro spec film cameras from the 1980s and they'll talk about the Nikon F3, they'll talk about the Canon F1, both very, very capable cameras. What they won't mention probably is the Pentax LX. Now, this was introduced in 1980. It was introduced on the 60th anniversary of the Pentax company, hence the designation LX, Roman numerals for 60. Pro spec camera, very, very well built, very, very capable, and in my view, maybe even better than the Nikon and the Canon. What I'm going to do now is just talk about the camera's features and just mention a few things that you should look out for if you're buying one of these secondhand. Okay, so Pentax LX. Let's start with the back. To open the back, you just pull up the rewind lever there. Very, very straightforward. Back pops open. Standard setup. Not really much to say here. Film goes in there. Film pulls across, tucks into the little white, between the little white rollers there. That's actually quite an unusual feature and actually works really well. You push the film into there, and the little white rollers hold the film, so it makes it actually a lot easier to load. One little thing there you may have spotted, a little little black rather, dial. If I just turn that there, you'll see it brings in a little black mask. If you are using it with the data back, now most people don't these days, but if you were using it with the data back, that little mask masks off the area where the data back information is printed on the film, but that's not really relevant to most people. One thing to watch out for if you're buying these cameras, and I always say this with all cameras of this age, check the light seals. The light seals are around there and around there. They're made of a foam rubber type material. In time, that foam rubber type material breaks down and the light seals will fail. It's the same with all cameras, though all use a very similar material. If you're ever looking at cameras of this age, always check that. The most obvious giveaway, if you rub your fingers along the edges of the back there, you'll end up with a black mark on your fingers where the sticky tar-like residue of the light seal as it begins to break down just sticks to these backs here. So just check that, rub your finger on it, make sure it's clean. Look at the seals themselves as carefully as you can and make sure they're all intact. If the seals are going, not the end of the world. It's not a massively expensive repair, but it is a repair that you must get carried out if you're planning to use the camera. Okay, so that closes there. Just looking at the base very quickly. Battery goes in there, little 10L14 batteries. These are the connections for the motor drive. That's the little button you push in to rewind the film. Very, very straightforward. And obviously little contacts there for the motor drive as well. There's a motor drive available for this camera and a motor winder, which is a little bit smaller and lighter. It doesn't wind the film quite so quickly. But I think these days most people would just use the camera as it is here with just a prime lens. I mean, that combination works beautifully. Going on to the top, winds on crank, pretty obvious. Shutter release, obvious. Little lock around the shutter release, frame counter there. Shutter speed dial there. Now this is it's a manual or aperture priority camera, so you can use it fully manually or you can set the aperture and let the camera set the shutter speed. One thing to watch out for with the shutters is make sure the shutters aren't sticking. If you wind the camera on and fire it, you might notice that it sticks before firing. This camera has the problem. Fire it and you'll hear a little delay just as I fire the shutter. Fire it 3 or 4 times and you'll spot it. If it has the issue, you'll spot it. And if you look at the front, you'll see that the mirror just delays very, very slightly. Difficult thing to demonstrate to a camera, but if you've got the thing in your hand, you can feel and hear there's a very, very slight delay. That isn't necessarily the end of the world. The camera will need servicing. Send it off to somebody competent, somebody that knows what they're doing, get it sorted out, and the camera will serve you for years and years and years to come. So it's don't dismiss it if you come across that fault, but just be cautious. Most good dealers would obviously get the camera serviced before reselling them. That shouldn't be an issue. Just moving on to the little button there, you can see that's the viewfinder release. Push it in, lever comes back sideways, viewfinder slides off like that. As you'd expect with any pro spec system, there are a number of viewfinders available for the camera, sports finders, waist level finders, so you can view from above. Really, really good system. Interchangeable focusing screen, you can see just there. Again, many focusing screens are available for many combinations of photography and lenses. To put the viewfinder back on, I should also mention quickly, there is diopter correction just underneath on the viewfinder there, should you need it. The viewfinder just slides back on like that. Feels very nice, feels very refined. As the wind on also feels very refined, much more refined than a Nikon or a Canon. Here you have your ASA dial and your exposure compensation. That's really all self-explanatory, isn't it? Coming to the front of the camera, self-timer and more importantly mirror lockup. So you can push the button in there and that then locks the mirror up for slower exposures, a very useful feature. On this side here you have the flash sync. Now, as I mentioned, mode-wise, very straightforward, manual and aperture only. The functions on the camera really stripped down to the basics, really all you need, nothing more. As with the Nikon F3, as with the Canon F1, relatively basic cameras designed for professional photographers. So no real bells or whistles, just everything you need, and yeah, nothing extra at all. Really nicely made, beautiful camera. So certainly worth considering. If you've got any questions, let me know. I'll answer them when I can. Otherwise, please subscribe and like, and I hope to see you again soon. Thank you. Bye bye.